RUBEN AMORIM has confirmed AMAD will start in Manchester United's attacking line against FC Viktoria Plzen. United suffered a 3-2 defeat to Nottingham Forest last weekend, and RUBEN AMORIM will be hopeful his side can bounce back against Viktoria Plzen away from home in the Europa League. AMORIM has made 5 changes to his starting team, and Tyrell Malacia has been given the nod to start again, which was already revealed at the pre-match press conference. Marcus Rashford, Joshua Zirkzee and AMAD are set to start in attack, and the latter will play in that role for the first time under AMORIM, having previously played at wing-back. AMORIM spoke to MUTV and said, "We are trying to find out what is the best position for every player. Today we are going to see AMAD a little bit further up on the pitch, and we are learning during games, so we need to face different opponents with different characteristics and also to improve our squad. So our focus is on that, using the characteristics and qualities of our players to win games. The only problem is, I would love to train with everybody, but it's great news, having an almost fully fit squad. You saw in our past, not with me, but with the last coach, it was a big problem. So we have to be really careful when they return from injuries. And that's a very good thing for us during this context. We are ready, and you never know which player is going to be the most important, the one who starts, or the one who will go onto the pitch during the game. We just want to win. We are one team, and we are prepared for the game. Just run and fight for the ball. It's quite simple. Our fans love that, and we need to put that into our DNA. That is really important, and we also have to have quality during the game. We will try to combine 2 things to win the game, because if we fight the same way as the opponent fights, we have better players, and we should win the game. Viktoria Plzen have the same number of points in the Europa League phase as United, and have beaten Real Sociedad at home in this season's competition, so they won't be pushovers. Manchester United is set to make history by signing their first ever Paraguayan player, left-back Diego Leon. This marks a significant milestone for the Red Devils and for Paraguayan football, as the 21-year-old embarks on a journey that blends youthful potential with the dream of representing one of the most iconic clubs in the world. Born and raised in Iguazu, a small town in Paraguay, Diego Leon's football journey started on the dirt pitches of his neighbourhood. His natural talent and determination caught the attention of scouts at a young age, leading to his inclusion in the youth academy of Club Olimpia, one of Paraguay's most prestigious teams. At Olimpia, Leon honed his skills, developing into a dynamic left-back with an attacking flair and a keen sense of defensive responsibility. Leon's performances at Olympia's senior team quickly earned him a reputation as one of Paraguay's brightest young prospects. His ability to combine overlapping runs with precise crossing made him a standout performer in the Paraguayan Primera Division. Additionally, his defensive acumen and tactical intelligence caught the eye of European scouts, paving the way for his transfer to the international stage. Diego Leon's transfer to Manchester United represents a groundbreaking moment for both the player and his home country. Erik Ten Hag's management style and emphasis on developing young talent make Old Trafford the ideal environment for Leon's growth. United's need for squad depth in the left-back position also positions him as a key player in the team's future plans. Leon is a modern fullback, equally adept at contributing to the attack as he is in defence. Known for his blistering pace, technical skills and precise crossing, he excels in creating opportunities from the left flank. Defensively, he demonstrates maturity beyond his years, with sharp positioning and a willingness to engage in one-on-one duels. Fans can expect Leon to bring a new dimension to United's play, offering width and creativity down the left side. His performances in the Paraguayan League and international fixtures have shown glimpses of a player who could evolve into a world-class talent. For Diego Leon, joining Manchester United is the culmination of years of hard work and perseverance. It's a dream come true for the young left-back and a source of pride for Paraguay. His journey from Iguazu to Old Trafford serves as an inspiring story for aspiring footballers worldwide, proving that talent combined with determination can overcome any barrier. As Diego Leon steps onto the pitch at Old Trafford, he not only carries the hopes of Manchester United fans, but also the dreams of an entire nation. All eyes will be on this promising youngster as he begins to write the next chapter in his already remarkable career. Chris Sutton has named 3 players that RUBEN AMORIM must work closely with as he looks to establish his strongest Manchester United starting lineup. The former Sporting CP boss, who is 5 games into his tenure at Old Trafford, has had a mixed start, with consecutive victories over Bodo Glimt and Everton, followed by losses to Arsenal and Nottingham Forest. The Red Devils are still adjusting to AMORIM's preferred 3-4-3 formation, and they currently sit 13th in the Premier League, 8 points adrift of the top 4. With little time to find the right formula ahead of Thursday's Europa League clash with VIKTORIA Plzen and Sunday's derby against Manchester City, the Portuguese tactician has been rotating his side in search of his best XE. However, Sutton remains unconvinced by what he's seen. Speaking to Spaceport Sweden, as quoted by the Mirror, the former Chelsea and Blackburn Rovers striker was asked to name 3 players whose futures seem secure under AMORIM. "Your glass half empty. There aren't 3 names," said Sutton. The 3-4-3. To implement that, they're playing 3 games a week at this moment in time. It's really difficult for them. It's not surprised me, the fact that the first real test they came up against, set-piece Arsenal. And then at the weekend, Forest, who have had an excellent season. They've found it difficult, and so I don't think anything has greatly changed. There's a guy who's coming, and he just needs patience, and he's trying to find the right formula. So, there is that aspect, and that's not easy. This isn't his mess. It's just a mess he's inherited, and he's trying to clear up, added Sutton. I think Bruno Fernandes, he'll find a role for him somewhere. I always think Lisandro Martinez has a bit about him, and Kobbie Mainoo has to be one. I do worry about Christian Eriksen and Casemiro long term. If you're playing the system which he plays, every team needs legs. Mainoo offers more than just legs, but you need that athleticism. I think the jury's out on a lot of players. I'm glad you didn't say 5 names. United are already making changes, with Marcus Rashford among those they are reportedly open to offers for in the January transfer window. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is keen to reshape the squad, with Casemiro and Eriksen likely to be moved on at the end of the season, while Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof and Johnny Evans also out of contract in June. AMORIM believes he can get the best out of the squad he has inherited from Erik Ten Hag, given time. After the defeat to Forest, the United boss said, "You have to continue your job, doing the same things, being really convinced of your way." I'm really convinced of that. It's really hard to lose games. I know the public and the fans want to win. It's a long time without winning, without that feeling. We're in a long journey, and we're going to do it. RUBEN AMORIM watched on at Carrington as an almost fully fit Manchester United squad trained ahead of Thursday's Europa League clash with Czech outfit Viktoria Plzen. United fly out on Wednesday afternoon as they seek a 3rd consecutive win in the competition that would see them close the gap to the top 8 and the automatic qualifying spots for the last 16. Only Luke Shaw was missing from the training group as the injury situation at the club finally abated. As per UEFA guidelines, the media were invited in to see the first 15 minutes of the session. The section of open training we were permitted to see was taken up entirely by rondos, and while there were plenty of coaching and fitness staff out on the grass, AMORIM stood alone, distant from the fun unfolding in front of him. Coaches won't learn an awful lot from watching a rondo, and AMORIM was happy to let other staff members observe the 2 groups of outfield players going through the drill. AMORIM stood alone, maybe 20 yards away from the rondos. When the sessions really get going, the head coach becomes a central figure, talking players through drills in his 3-4-3 shape, but when time allows, he is happy to step back. It was noticeable how many staff members were at the training session compared to Erik Ten Hag. Under the Dutchman, there would generally only be the first team coaches out on the grass, but on Wednesday morning, there were 17 different staff members out, including goalkeeping coaches Jorge Vital and Craig Mawson, who were taking the keepers in a separate warm-up drill. All of AMORIM's first team staff were on the grass, but they were joined by a cast of extras, all with a designated role to play in part of the session to come. They stood around in small groups talking, and it was unusual to see quite so many staff members around a training session. It was a regular complaint during the Ten Hag era just how tardy the timekeeping around open training sessions was. On at least one occasion this season, the players only emerged an hour after the media had been told it would begin. That might seem like a minor complaint, but it also paints a picture of a tardy and lax attitude, and fuels the idea that United simply weren't across the details when Ten Hag was in charge. That has changed now. On Wednesday, the players were out at the exact time the session was due to begin, and things ran like clockwork. The energy and enthusiasm are always high during the pre-session rondos, and that was no different on Wednesday. In one group, Lisandro Martinez went to the ground to fly into a sliding tackle as he tried to win the ball, showing that aggression is on show on the training pitches as well as in matches. Casemiro was loudly counting the number of passes in his group. After one controversial decision, Martinez and Bruno Fernandes lifted Tyrell Malacia off his feet and plonked him into the middle. It was a rare session across the last 18 months in that it didn't feature any academy youngsters who have regularly made the numbers up under Ten Hag and AMORIM. Most of them played at Old Trafford on Tuesday night as the under-19s crashed out of the UEFA Youth League, but they also weren't needed in the first-team squad as the injury situation finally begins to improve. Shaw was the only first-team player absent, which meant a 25-man group could train without the need to boost numbers from the academy. Ethan Wheatley made his Manchester United senior debut against Sheffield United in April. Wheatley wrote himself into the club's history books by becoming the 250th player from the academy to make a senior bow, but he will want to be remembered for more than that. Wheatley started for the under-19s against AZ Alkmaar in the UEFA Youth League on Tuesday, and his next steps must have crossed his mind as he entered an almost empty Old Trafford. Around 300 supporters braved the cold to attend the game, and Wheatley was the only youngster on the pitch who knows what playing in front of a sold-out Old Trafford feels like. Wheatley will want more of that feeling. Playing at Old Trafford is special regardless, but performing in front of a sell-out crowd is a unique opportunity for academy players, and Wheatley might have to push for a loan in the January transfer window to continue making inroads to the first team. RUBEN AMORIM wasn't among the United club staff who attended Old Trafford, and a source has admitted he's not had a chance to watch an academy fixture due to his busy schedule. The presence of AMORIM would have given Wheatley an added incentive to impress against AZ, but his reputation remains high among academy coaches following a promising 2024. Wheatley also didn't have too much to feed off against AZ. The Dutch side flew out of the traps and created two great chances within the first few minutes, but the game settled into a steady rhythm, and United's best chance of the first 45 minutes fell to the head of Amir Ibrahimov. For context, Ibrahimov has heart in abundance, but was the smallest player in a red shirt. His header was tame, and it might have been a different story if Wheatley had connected. United's coaches felt Wheatley massively improved last season and really stepped up in quality, which made a debut possible, and staff were also happy with how he adapted to playing across multiple teams, U18S, Under-21S and First Team, and multiple different competitions. Wheatley grew into his body after what a source described as diligent work in the gym, with strength and conditioning coaches, and Travis Binion said he had the perfect number 9 frame. AZ are renowned for developing players in the Netherlands, and their U19s are a physical side. Their players look to have a height advantage, but Wheatley was the anomaly for United. Wheatley has physically matured, but there are still aspects he needs to improve, which is the case for any youngster, and that was highlighted in the second half when he powerfully burst toward the Stretford end and lost the ball when he could have beaten his man and produced a shot. United were still searching for a breakthrough at that stage, and the game was goalless. United goalkeeper William Murdoch had made 2 superb saves at the beginning of the match to deny AZ from taking an early lead, and neither side looked capable of producing a decisive moment. Wheatley was working off scraps and looked frustrated when the hour mark arrived. He will benefit from a loan in January and should be among those at the front of the queue to leave. AZ won 2, one in the first leg of the tie, and United needed a goal, otherwise they would crash out of a competition which they earned qualification for by winning a treble last season. Chido Obi Martin was introduced from the bench for the final 10 minutes. Obi Martin and Gabriele Biancheri replaced Wheatley and Jadon Sancho, and the changes represented the last throw of the dice from Adam Lawrence as his side inched close to exiting the Youth League. AZ defended brilliantly throughout the game, and not even Obi Martin could pull the rabbit from the hat. United's best player on the night was Murdoch in between the sticks, and it says a lot when your keeper is your best player. Nonetheless, Lawrence will still be proud of his players. United only qualified for the competition because their U18s were the champions of England last season, and that shouldn't be forgotten because it was a remarkable achievement.